Guys, welcome to Little Wood of Woo Woo. I'm your host, Jill Thomas. Oh my God, you guys keep asking. And guess who showed up? Karen came to the party. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Everybody loves Karen. I know you guys do. And I appreciate you liking and subscribing because she's amazing. And you know that, she comes on every once in a while because girlfriend's busy. Karen's busy because she's really amazing. I had a reading with her, you guys. You should get one. She's out of this world. I got information that was just like spot on. She's reading me. I'm like, yeah, okay. That's not weird. But anyway, she knows everything about me. And I'm going, wow, that's pretty. And my birth date told you that? I mean, that's kind of, even I thought that was magical because, I talk to dead people and I still thought that was cool. Karin Schroeder has been a practicing astrologer for 35 years, trained in classical as well as spiritual astrology. And her readings focus on past life patterns and life purpose, which is one of the things I really love about it because, not to just give a commercial here for this person who agreed to be a guest, but I gotta tell you, you guys have known, you guys have all had a reading like this where somebody said your moon is in your this and your star is over here. And it doesn't mean anything to you. What do I do with that? Who cares, right? Because I don't really know what that means, right? But she gives really practical advice. And that's one of the reasons you guys like her as a guest is because when she comes on, she talks about what's in it for me. So Karen, what's in it for us? What's going on? What do we need to know?
What's going on? What's the buzz?
I know, right?
Yeah.
I know that's a big, vague thing, but what's the overarching theme for the rest of the month? We're recording this, by the way, on February 12th at 1 p.m. Pacific. I'm probably going to post this on Friday, which is tomorrow.
Okay.
If you aren't keeping track of the schedule, but here you go.
Okay.
What's up? What do we need to know?
There's so much going on. There's so much going on. There's so much going on, but and in a good, it's good in a major way. It's good for us. It's good for the country, but it's hard to keep up. It's very hard to keep up. So we're just into 2026. And we're already, starting two major outer planets moving out of Pisces into Aries, which is like a whole new cycle, many, many, many years of going around the zodiac and now finishing up with Pisces, moving into Aries. Huge, big change. We had the planet Uranus, another big boy planet in the sky that what we like to say is it's station pointed and it's moving forward, which means now we've got a never going back kind of feeling.
Yeah.
Never going back. And then we've got the snake year changing to the horse year, which I really won't talk about on this video, but, and it's eclipse season.
You have to do something on that horse year though on your channel because that's a big deal.
Yeah.
So please do that.
Totally
she's good. She just said she was going to do it. You guys go to her channel and subscribe. Okay.
Yes, please go to my channel. I'm going to try to do a video tomorrow because I did all this work for this one. So
you got it all done.
I'm going to slide it over onto mine tomorrow. So, but I want to talk about two or three things out of all those things that I listed. I want to talk about the Saturn and the Neptune in the sky that went into Aries. Out of Pisces. Saturn is actually going into Aries on Valentine's Day, which is Saturday. And Neptune moved into Aries about a week and a half ago. And so where that hits in the United States chart is at the very base of the chart. The base of the chart is the foundation. It's the foundation of that spirit's incarnation. If we're looking at your chart, it's the foundation of this particular incarnation for you. For the United States chart, it's huge because it's the foundation of who we are. And what Saturn and Neptune together, boom, right on top of each other, what that means. They're two very different energies. Neptune is very inspirational and ethereal and kind of can be deceptive, kind of glamorous, disguises things. And Saturn is more like, hey, we're planted on the earth. We have to deal with what's going on right in front of us. We have to deal with the material world. And they're both in Aries. And so I thought, what can I give as an example for Saturn in Aries? Well, Saturn in Aries, I saw a beautiful example on YouTube yesterday, and it was Jasmine Crockett, Congresswoman Jasmine
Love her.
Crockett. Yes.
I love her. Everybody loves her. Almost
Everybody loves. I want names. Who doesn't love Jasmine?
I can think of one.
Oh, well, yeah, one big one. But she was raking Pam Bondi over the coals.
Oh yeah, she's awesome.
During the hearing. Yeah. That is Saturn and Aries. That is Aries is the warrior energy, and Saturn is holding to accountability, holding to responsibility. And she was raking her over the coals. So that's Saturn and Aries. Neptune in Aries is more like, Aries has a lot to do with identification. Who am I? And so having it at the base of the United States chart, this is clarity about who we are as a nation.
That's really interesting. That's really interesting. Okay.
That's huge. It's energetically huge. It's like it's been a long time coming, and it has been a long time coming, but historically we're seeing people making those decisions every day. We're seeing Americans making those decisions every day. People protesting the protesters. So we've got people deciding this is who I am, or this is who we are as Americans, and this is who we are not. So again, these two heavy hitting planets at the very base of the United States chart is a huge movement towards figuring out, well, who are we? We've gone through 250 years, 50 some years. And do we know who we are? So we look back in history, where were we? Who were we at our best? Who were we at our worst? And we're making those decisions. We're making those choices. So
interesting.
That's
how's that going to manifest? Is it going to manifest in more protesting? Is it going to manifest in people like Jasmine Crockett, or is it going to manifest as individuals, or is it going to be all of that, like individuals saying, well, I think that doesn't work for me?
Okay. Well, I think that there's going to be a lot of that. Hell no, that doesn't work for me. I think, people are so concerned, rightly so, about are any of these people going to come to justice? Is there going to be any accountability? And I think Saturn and Neptune and Aries at the bottom of the chart, those two planets in that zodiacal sign energy at the placement where it is like, yeah, I think that is justice coming. I think that is justice coming.
It's interesting as you bring up something that has come up. I had last two guests had interesting take on this. The last guest off air before I hit the record button, she said, the only thing people want to know is, when's he going to pass? How painful is it going to be? And can I watch? And then the other guest also mentioned something I thought was interesting. She was talking about formerly known as Prince Andrew, and how, we would like to see him, hauled off in handcuffs, because that would be justice for us, but losing his identity as a queen's son is significant punishment for him. Like, that is his equivalent.
That's his identity. Yeah.
That's his identity. And so that's to him is worse than going off to jail. And that kind of made sense. So is that kind of what you're talking about too? That it may not manifest as people being hauled off to jail, or is it going to manifest as people being, because I would love to see that.
I think some people are going to get hauled off to jail.
Okay.
I do. I think some people are going to, it's going to look like they're getting off scot-free. They're going to, leave the country or whatever. And it's going to look like they're getting off scot-free. But, whether you believe in it or not, karma is real. Mm-hmm. Karma is real. I was married to a man who had asthma, and he couldn't understand why he was paying for, he realized that asthma was karma, and he couldn't realize why he thought he was a good guy, and why does he have to deal with something that happened to, a consequence of something that happened to him in other lifetimes. And in the course of the marriage, and then after the marriage, I found out just how horrible a person really had been. And so I'm like, dude, really, karma, asthma wasn't such a bad thing for all the things that we found out about you. So just you have to know that it catches up. It does catch up with people.
Interesting.
They can end up in a wheelchair with some horrible disease. They can, there's a number of things that could happen to him.
I mean, not that we wish that on anyone. No,
Not that we wish that on anyone, but there's nothing we can't get in front of it. It's going to happen.
Yeah, interesting. So is there anyone in particular that you see coming to justice, or do you want to talk about, like, is it 47, or is it what's going to happen to Tim Walz? Like
Tim Walz. I took a look at his chart because of what's been going on with that poor guy the past few months, and his chart showed that in his house of authority and public recognition, the 10th house, he's got Aries there, but at the very top of his chart, the top point of his chart is the edge of Pisces, which is like the last 2 degrees of Pisces. Then it moves into Aries, and he had Saturn and Neptune right at the top of his chart when all this stuff was going on in his state. And so Saturn and Aries on his chart, on the top of his chart, meant that he already knows who he is. But what he had to do, since the top of the chart is your public life, different than your private life, which is the bottom of the chart, the soul work that you do, his public life, he had to show the world who he was publicly, as a warrior, as someone who stood by his beliefs, as someone who took responsibility and took the flack and made the incredible decision to bring out the National Guard and feed them pizza and cookies, or pizza and ice cream or something. Completely shifted the energy.
Yeah.
I mean, a magician couldn't have done a better job.
And as a side note, because I've talked about this, when I've tuned in at politicians, almost all of them, and I'm going to say almost all, even ones I voted for, when I tune in, I feel like I need to take a shower after work. These dudes' energies are so bad. Just nasty. In fact, I voted twice for one of the worst energy of any politician I've ever tuned into, no question. Tim Walz was not one of the bad ones. Tim Walz is a good guy. I will say there's a couple of Republicans I tuned into whose energy also feels really good. They have principles. I may not have voted for them, but the worst one I ever tuned into was a Democrat. I'll let you guys in the comments figure out who it is, but I tell you, I voted for him twice. Not gonna lie.
Okay.
But yeah, you can it's not hard to figure out. He might actually be in the naughty files as well. Anyway.
Okay. I think I got it. Okay.
But Tim Walz, when I tune in, he feels like a good person.
Yes.
He really genuinely does.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd lend a car to that guy.
I would believe that. I know when he first came on the scene with Kamala, my son, who's a pretty intuitive guy, said to me, he says, "Oh, we got Santa Claus running for the vice president." And he was being funny, but he wasn't. It was like, yeah, that's really Santa Claus. That's really Santa. So, I'd have to agree with that. So, yeah, he showed the public what he was made out of and who he really, really, truly was. And what I'm concerned as the Saturn and Neptune continue to move into Aries in 2026, because he's got Aries planets in the 10th house, is that I'm worried about him getting ill, getting sick.
Aww.
Yeah. Or just losing steam. He's just gonna feel just worn out from the burden he's been carrying for such a long time, and it's going to be time for him to slow down, and pay some attention to himself. I don't know. What do you feel when you tune into Tim Walz for
his colors? When you look into his health, and I generally don't unless I'm given permission, but he is a public figure, so I feel like that's okay. His colors look like he's tired. I'm not a doctor, but I would suggest that maybe it's time to go get those things checked that you probably never get checked. The once a year things. If he was in front of me, that's what I'm telling him to go do. I'm not saying anything's wrong, but right. I would just say, you know what? If you haven't been to the doctor in a few years because you've been busy, time to go. Time to just don't check that cholesterol. Don't check that blood. And that's true for all you guys watching too, right?
Right.
Maybe you're not taking care of yourselves. Maybe it's time to go check that stuff.
Exactly. So yeah, anybody that has planets in Aries, Capricorn, or Libra, if they're, and I'm not a doctor, and I don't play one on TV, but if you've got planets in those three signs, you want, and Capricorn too, sorry, 4 of them. You might want to think about, well, there's this tooth that I should have been taking care of, or this something that I've been kind of ignoring for a while. It's gonna poke its little ugly head up for you to say, I need attention now.
Interesting. Yeah. And of course, we're saying all of this for entertainment purposes only, because neither one of us are doctors, lawyers, stock portfolio managers. And sometimes, I'm just speaking for myself here, I'm not speaking for Karen. Sometimes, even though I'm right a lot, I am just plain wrong. Just get a minute. Sometimes just plain wrong.
Oh, yeah.
Karen's always right, but I'm always.
Oh, no. No. Yeah.
So what else oh, go ahead.
I'll admit it when I am, but okay. So that's what
I'm not as mature as you are.
No, I will wiggle out of it any way I can.
I will, absolutely. I just pretend that never happened.
I never said that. Is it on tape? No.
What? No. You misunderstood.
Yeah.
I've also never been hauled before Congress. Thank the Lord.
Yeah.
Gosh, what else we need to know about the U.S.?
Okay. Okay, let me take a quick look at my.
You seeing any earthquakes on there? Because I was seeing an earthquake, but is it just?
Oh, I saw that show where you said that, and I'm like, oh, dude.
I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not really close to San Diego because I think that's where.
Oh, no, it's not San Diego. I was saying LA. San Diego has a different. I was saying LA. Did I say San Diego? Please don't tell me I didn't say San Diego. No, I was saying LA. San Diego has, because I took geology in college. I was for about 10 minutes, you all. For about 10 minutes, I was a geology major until I realized they don't make any money, right?
I see that.
They had like the geology. There's something under San Diego. The rocks that are under San Diego are a little more solid and resilient to earthquake stuff. But so because of the way the rock structure is in the LA basin area, it's a little more likely to have an earthquake like spread. But
okay. And when did we see this?
I was feeling like it was going to be in the next month, 2 months. But is there anything in the chart? I don't know if the chart shows that kind of stuff, or maybe I'm just wrong.
I don't have the chart for LA.
Okay. All right.
But Uranus is the planet that rules eruptions. It's been in the sign of Taurus for a number of years. It's going to be moving into Gemini in the end of April. But, as it moves through those last few degrees of Taurus, which rules the earth, Taurus is earth and the earth, it might give us a last goodbye shake. And so, yeah. And that.
Oh, no, I wasn't seeing, it wasn't the big one, you guys. I hope I made that clear. I wasn't seeing the air quotes, big one that we learned since we were little kids.
You said like services would be interrupted.
Yeah. And then it was going to be a big mess is what I was seeing.
Okay.
Just be smart. Just get your water and your earthquake food in your garage, just like you're supposed to do. Like we're always supposed to do that. Doesn't matter where you live.
Okay.
Anyway.
Okay. For people in apartments that don't have room to store things.
That's true. Just find a closet.
Yeah.
I always got a closet.
All right. Well. Okay. I guess I could get a bigger bottled water delivery next time. But so Uranus moves from Taurus into Gemini the last few days of April. So, and that's only a couple months away. So that would go with what you're talking about. One last big goodbye, Uranus and Taurus. Boom.
Let's talk about what I think more people are more interested in. Obviously something that affects LA doesn't affect everyone. I'm sorry. I went off on a tangent because I was thinking earthquakes. What do you see happening maybe for anything for 47 that we need to know about?
Oh yeah.
I can hear the audience going, ooh yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. So, we've been predicting 47's demise for a while, and somehow like a cockroach, he just keeps going. However, if you look at the big picture, why has he hung on for so long? He wasn't done with his job yet, the job of waking up the United States. And I mean, there's still like a third of the population that still likes him. And I'm thinking, it's unbelievable to me, but at least it's over half. It's way over half. So maybe his job is done. So here's what aspects we've got coming up for 47 that can cause the end of 47. First of all, I heard, and I don't generally hear voices, but I heard a voice in August say, the voice said, that's the last State of the Union he will make. It's the one he made last January.
Okay.
So now we've got a State of the Union coming up February 24th, and I'm kind of looking at my watch going, okay, somebody told me he's not going to be able to make the second one. So let's see. But so he's got the Saturn and Neptune in Aries that we talked about are in an opposition to the Neptune in his chart. When you've got Saturn and Neptune in Aries, but just in any sign opposing your own Neptune, this is a time of confusion, a time of defeat, a time of wanting to withdraw. It can indicate illness as well as hospitalization. So we've got number, that's one. To make a prediction in astrology, I was taught to make a major prediction for a major change, like a marriage, a divorce, the birth of a child, death, some big change, big move. You've got to find things are thrice compounded, right? That's coming from the Bible. So let's look. That's number one. Saturn and Neptune in the sky opposed his natal Neptune. And, the Neptune rules his 8th house. The 8th house is the house of sex, power, money, the abuses of those three things, as well as the endings of things.
Interesting.
So there's like A1. Now we've got Saturn opposed the Neptune. The first thing I talked about was Neptune opposed Neptune. Now we've got Saturn opposed Neptune. That is past sins, unfulfilled responsibilities, depression, self-doubt. It's a very difficult transit. And again, the Saturn rules the intercepted 5th house of children. And again, Neptune rules the 8th house of sex, power, death, money, secrets that have to do with those things.
Oof.
Yeah. That's been coming on right now. The solar eclipse that we have coming up on February 17th in 28 degrees of Aquarius is right on his descendant, opposed the Mars in his chart on his rising sign. Mars is our physical vitality, our energy. And so when you've got an eclipse opposite that, we've got conflict with people of ego, with your ego issues. Anything that you're in, the man is 100% ego. I mean, I don't think there's a sliver of any percent that's not ego. So everything he says and does and thinks is ego based. So this means conflict. This means he's not going to be getting away with stuff. People are calling him on things. And an eclipse, what a solar eclipse does is it shines a spotlight on something. One of my teachers used to call it a branding iron. If it doesn't hit you in a particular part in your chart, you get off scot-free. That eclipse, you're fine. But if that eclipse is hitting a very particular sensitive spot or planet in your chart, it's like a branding iron. So it's hitting him in a very, very sensitive part in his chart. Conflicts, people calling him out on things. And it's also, because it's opposed to Mars, it's critical culminations of things. This is a critical point for him. So now this is at least the third thing I've mentioned, I think. Critical culminations, things coming to a head. It's a climax in his life. He's going to be more irritable, more assertive, more aggressive. Let's see, my notes say hostility, aggression coming towards him, and he definitely reflects that back. And it's characterized by self-destructive behavior that can lead to accidents and illness. So this is This is a second thing that we're talking about that has to do with illness or hospitalization.
Interesting. So obviously, I can hear what you're saying, the Epstein shadows of the Epstein files, stuff, behaviors from the past, allegedly for entertainment, coming back around, those chickens coming back to roost. The other thing I'm hearing in this, and tell me if I'm wrong, is the possibility of, there's another thing that's out there with him that isn't talked about in the news as much, which is this tariff thing. The Supreme Court still hasn't ruled on it yet. They're expected to rule that he has to give all that money back. Would this be, if that was going to come, would this kind of be a time when that would happen?
Yeah, that would be a culmination. Absolutely. Again, that date is the 17th of February, but a couple weeks on either side of that date is still well within the energetic bubble of these things going on for him.
Interesting. Yeah. So also you're talking about aggression too. Humor me on this question. Mm-hmm. Would this also, could this also mean him doing conflict events, him initiating conflict events, which are probably already in the works, but would it be, does that sort of indicate it could be a particular date that a conflict event occurs, like this aggression towards Iran? Or
right. Okay.
I don't know.
Okay. Sure.
Am I adding something that's not really there?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, because we see his behavior towards the female reporters is just like, it's disgusting, and it's just funny. It's like watching, your crazy grandpa say something to someone, and you just kind of cringe and go, okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He's 105 years old and has dementia, but this is our president.
Yeah. Yeah. The leader of the free world. Yeah.
Cringe,
yeah, definitely. Now this doesn't necessarily mean that he will start a war.
Okay.
Again, I've often thought, I thought this since his first term. I felt really certain. Tell me what you think about this, or if you've ever thought of it. I don't think he had the nuclear codes in his first term.
I don't think so either. Okay, so I'm going to put on my tinfoil hat here, and all you guys can play along. Tell me what you think of this. I'm not 100% sure that any president really has had those. I'm not 100% sure that those are, 55555 in the little football box, and nobody's ever opened it to check. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I might be wrong, but I'm not 100% sure that that's
okay.
I don't know. Because I'm not sure that the president, even though we say the president has the right to do that, I'm not sure that they really do.
Okay. Okay.
Tell me if you guys, put in the comments if you think I'm wrong. I'm not. Yeah. It's okay for me to disagree with me on that one, but I'm not sure that. I think there are some decisions the president absolutely doesn't make that we've been led to believe that he makes.
Okay. Well, I've had a reading from you too, Jill, and I think you're incredibly accurate. So I'm going to take what you just said quite seriously, but I always felt.
I also hope we never find out.
Yeah, I hope we never find out. But I never thought he had the nuclear codes in his first term. He certainly doesn't have them now. Okay. Certainly doesn't have them now. There's no way he's going to start a nuclear war. Have you seen a war with Iran?
The conflict, yeah, I have seen that. But I think my sense on this is that it's because Israel wants it. That's my sense on it. It feels like because Israel wants it, and also because I feel like Saudi Arabia wants it. I feel like there's other players, and it's like his best friends want it. You know what I mean? That's what I kind of get. I could be wrong, but my feeling is that he's being influenced by others. My feeling very strongly is that he's being influenced by others. And
absolutely.
The joke, is like, who's really in charge? It's, obviously we all think it's Stephen Miller. And there's more involved. And who's allowing these incredibly racist retweets to happen? That's probably him, but somebody is looking at those accounts too, Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, and there's so many things that he says and does every day that I'm like, you didn't think that up. That's not coming from your oatmeal brain.
Right. And like calling, saying, just the example of Portland is on fire and hellhole of landscape of fire, and then we're all like looking around, going, "Where is this thing?
Yeah.
Wait, what's he talking about? Is he talking about that thing that happened like 3 years ago? Is he talking about that? Huh?" Because I just went to the coffee shop and the donut shop, which is down the street from that ice building, and there's a couple people out front in frog suits, but I didn't see anything beyond that.
There's no smoke. There's no, yeah. Nothing's happening.
I don't know what you're talking about. I missed that party. Okay, there was something you said I want to go back to because I thought it was great. You were talking about the solar eclipse, and you were also talking about the lunar eclipse. And all of you guys, we've talked about, how this affects the economy, the presidency. Explain the difference between the effects of the solar eclipse and the lunar effects, and how that affects an individual, like you and I. Like, what should we expect?
Okay. Well, a solar eclipse, as I mentioned before, is like a searchlight. And if it's hitting you in a particular part of your chart, then it's gonna manifest something that happens that has to do with that planetary energy or that house energy, and it will happen. And sometimes it's a good thing. Sometimes, it's like winning the lottery or finding your soulmate. And sometimes it's a crisis of some kind, a crisis in a relationship or a health crisis or a
And that's
job.
on the 17th?
That's on the 17th.
Okay.
Again, the orb of influence, they call it.
I love it.
That energy is going to work a couple weeks before and a couple weeks after, but that's when it's the most intense, is right around the 17th. Now, the lunar eclipse is 2 weeks after, and that's in I think 12 degrees Virgo, maybe. And so a lunar eclipse is, again, it's another kind of a spotlight on something, but it's more of an internal thing. It's more of an emotional thing. It's more of an attitudinal kind of thing. And so if that's hitting you in a certain spot in your chart, it may not actually make something happen that you can say, "Oh my God, I was in a car accident. Oh my God, I got proposed to. Oh my God, I lost my job." But something emotional that comes up, an emotional situation that you're having to deal with, or that you're like super sensitive about something, that maybe somebody close to you passed a year or two ago, but when this lunar eclipse comes up and hits you in a sensitive place in your chart, wow, I didn't grieve this hard when they passed, as I'm grieving this weekend of the lunar eclipse. You're emotionally very sensitive, and not very rational.
Interesting. So, is that a warning to all of us to be sent? We're talking about the 2 weeks after, the one that's 2 weeks after, the closer to like the first week of March.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you know that, it's kind of cool to know that ahead of time, because
that's true. Yeah.
Because then you can say, "God, I feel awful. I can't stop crying," or "I just want to kill somebody. I'm so angry this whole week."
And just know that it's not legal in California.
The lunar eclipse is not illegal in California.
No, I mean the other one.
Lay down, let it pass.
Lay down, let it pass. That's good advice. Yeah.
Take your rescue remedy. Watch a funny movie. Watch Caddyshack. Something that's just gonna like shift you from that super emotional, super sensitive mode into something else. And then you've kind of broken the spell.
Let me just give you a real life, like this isn't an example of mine. Okay. Friends and family of mine, it is not happening. I'm just giving you like examples, like a client. So the first one, the solar eclipse, humor me. Would it be like the example of the woman who finds naked pictures on her partner's phone and is trying to decide if she should, kick him to the curb or if she should tell him he has to go to counseling? And the lunar eclipse is when she is realizing that it's over, or are they both kind of that?
Example. Yep, that's a good example. Absolutely. Yeah. If the solar eclipse, that searchlight is hitting her in her partnership area, or maybe on her Venus, or if it's not a serious relationship, but it's romantic, it might be hitting her in the 5th house of romance. Yeah. And then the lunar eclipse is her emotional reaction to it.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. So the disclosure event, maybe disclosure the 17th, or you realizing that you're in the wrong career, or you realizing that
right.
the thing that you thought was true isn't true at all. And then the processing and the grieving, which very often happens 2 weeks later. Like somebody dies and there's this immediate like freak out, but then usually it hits you really, really hard a couple of weeks later.
Right.
That's interesting.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
Extra support.
Yeah, absolutely. It can be extra support, or it just can be like, man, this is, maybe you're in a bad relationship or you're in a really bad marriage. And this eclipse comes along and hits you in a place where she or he walks out.
Ooh, interesting. That's another good example. Yeah.
And you're like, okay, you know what? That's it. We're done.
Okay.
It can be a real positive thing. It can be a real difficult thing. It can pop you out of a bad job. It can pop you out of a bad relationship. It can pop you into a good job, or you can meet somebody.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about that. So let's look at the flip side. Like I'm given like relationship stuff because it's Valentine's Day soon, and people are thinking about that, and that's what people are booking readings for. Let's look at would the eclipse, the solar eclipse, be the day that you get an invitation to apply for a job, and the lunar eclipse is where you're wrestling with whether you should take it or not, or is it are good opportunities more likely to occur as well? Like.
Well, again, it depends on where it's hitting you in your chart. Hitting in Trump's chart, it's not a very positive thing.
Okay.
But if it's hitting your chart and it's touching off, other planets that are in a very positive way, yeah, you might have been looking for a job for months, and that's the week that you get like 2 job offers.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Everybody watching, just decide that it's hitting in a good part of your chart, even if you don't know. And if you do want to know, Karen probably doesn't have any appointments available for the next couple of weeks, but just get an appointment in the future. But yes, this is very good, sensible advice.
Yeah, we usually have eclipses twice a year, so
there you go.
This is the first for 2026.
I love that. That is, all of you guys just decide that it's going to be okay. And what I heard with this is 2 weeks from the 17th. Get yourself. If you partake in the Isa cream, on the chips, I'm not saying you should ever eat those things. I am saying, I know that your friend is the one that eats that stuff when she's upset, but you don't, because you've got a bunch of kale. You're going to eat that instead. But if it showed up at your house, maybe you don't turn it down, especially if it keeps you from yelling at the person at the Vons at the grocery store. I'm just saying.
Exactly.
This sounds like it's, what I'm also hearing with this is it sounds like it's going to be an awakening for a lot of people. Am I right?
Oh, yes. Definitely an awakening. This eclipse, okay, the eclipse, we didn't talk about the eclipse hitting the United States. We talked about the eclipse.
Okay, so yeah.
But the eclipse hitting the United States is hitting it right on the moon of the United States, right on the moon of the country. 27 degrees moon in Aquarius, and the eclipse is 28 degrees. So it is like there is no wiggle room there. Those two energies are boom right together. And Aquarius is a very explosive kind of energy. It's ruled by Uranus, which is the planet that rules explosions. So this is, revelations.
Oh, revelations. Yes, thank you. Not literal boom booms. Okay, I like that.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Thank you for that. No. Clarification.
No, more like journalistic boom booms, like headline, read all about it.
In the middle of by the way, in the middle of the Olympics, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay. Revelations. Interesting. So revelations obviously affect the markets a lot, which affects people's jobs. Okay. Any sense of what kind of revelations we could be talking about here? Or
yes, absolutely. When we want to do that in astrology, we look at what house does that planet rule. Every sign of the zodiac has a planet that will rule it, which means it's like in charge of that particular zodiacal sign. So the moon rules Cancer. Where is Cancer in the chart of the United States? It's in the 8th house of money, stock market.
Oh,
401ks. But also remember, I mentioned earlier, the 8th house is also secrets that have to do with abuse of power, sexual secrets, money secrets, illegal money secrets, control. Eighth house has a lot to do with control, who's in charge, abuse of power kind of stuff. Yeah. And we're seeing that now. I mean, we're seeing one revelation after another every day, every few hours. There seems to be another revelation, especially when it comes to the Epstein files. Well, that one for sure. But there are other things that are coming out. We can't hardly keep track.
I know. It's just, it's so sad. It's so disgusting and so pervasive. The Epstein files is shocking and it's just awful. But there are other situations that are affecting women every single day that I wish that we would look at too. I'm just thinking of an example because I knew a trial lawyer who dealt with this issue a lot. But colleges have I'm trying to word this carefully. All the women know what I'm talking about. There's a lot of essays that happen on college campuses. Colleges have a financial incentive not to get those reported to the public. Yeah. And so they will do things like say that you have to call campus police. Well, campus police is not regular police. And if you are using a product, let's just say it starts with an R, you guys know what I'm talking about, that if you are using a product like that, it can only be detected within the system if it's tested, if your hair is tested within a few hours. Campus police doesn't do that, but LAPD does, right? Mm-hmm. And they don't want another one of those incidents to show up on the spreadsheet of a college campus, as listed. So they'll find all kinds of ways not to let it get reported. The Epstein thing freaks me out in all kinds of ways because I feel like it's being used as a way of influencing and managing votes around different, influencing things. But I would love to see us also look at all of the other ways in which this injustice is happening.
Okay, absolutely.
But that's just my personal thing. And if you guys don't care about that, I'm sorry, but
yes.
I would love to look at how college campuses handle this issue. Because that affects a wider swath. However, I said that when the highest people in the highest positions in power are involved in these things and these organizations and these people doing bad stuff, and these bad stuff people have stuff on them, they can make them vote the way they want them to. So
exactly. And the eighth house, remember when I said money, a lot of the things that are going to be coming up from the revelations are going to be the financial connections between famous people, politicians on both sides of the aisle, and their financial connections with something that will have to do with Epstein. Interesting. And also, whether he was an informant for the FBI and whether he was part of Mossad. I mean, just there's all of those things are all eighth house kinds of things.
Interesting. So you think we're going to get more of that disclosure type stuff in the next couple of weeks for sure.
Absolutely.
And then, okay, so we're going to be getting that stuff during the solar eclipse, and during the lunar eclipse, we're all going to be crying about it.
Yeah. Or picking it apart. The lunar eclipse is in the sign of Virgo, and so that's very detail oriented. Like, let's get down to the nitty gritty. Let's get the facts. Yeah.
So Karen, I'm going to ask you a question you asked me off air. We should have been recording because, one of these days, you guys, I'm just going to hit the record button. And not just me with Karen, like other people, because when we think we're not being listened to, the conversations that the psychics have before the show are so awesome. Do you think Epstein's still alive?
Oh, yeah. I'm on the fence.
Are you? Okay.
I'm on the fence.
I can respect that.
But I can say, because you made a comment about it before you started recording, that, and I made a few comments about this on my own YouTube channel, that a person who is passed, if there's an aspect happening to their chart, then it will activate the chart. So Mark Twain is past many, many years. There might be an activation of something in his chart, and voila, we have a PBS special on the life of Mark Twain that comes out.
I would totally watch that, by the way, PBS.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You made that, I'll watch it.
Love Mark Twain. Love Samuel Clemens. What a life. What a guy. And you mentioned earlier that, Epstein's chart is definitely getting hit by the planetary energies. So again, a case could be made that he's more alive now than he was when he was alive.
Right?
Same thing,
Yeah.
a movie coming out about Elvis. And if you looked at Elvis's chart, you'd be like, oh, look, there's a Jupiter, Uranus aspect going on with his 10th house. There's, we're hearing about Elvis again. So that does happen. That's a real thing. But is he actually, man, when the first thing happened with him, a friend I have who's quite intuitive and quite psychic, she texted me and she said he is not dead.
Oh, have her on the show. What's her name? Off air.
Okay.
I'd love to have her on the show.
He is absolutely not dead, Karen. What do you think? And I'm like, wow, okay. I'm thinking he was now, what was your euphemistic term for
unsubscribed from life?
Unsubscribed from life, yes. I was thinking, no, he definitely did not unsubscribe from life. That was my thought at when this whole thing came down, but I'm not so sure.
I can 100% say that nobody watching this thought he unsubscribed from life on his own recognizance there.
No.
I still think he is not on the planet. I am not the world's best medium, and I certainly have not tried to tune into that dude's energy because I don't like tuning into politicians. It's just as gross as you can get.
Yeah.
But if I'm wrong, then that would be very interesting. But he's one of those characters, and I think we've talked about this too, is that 70 years from now, they're going to be doing some history special about how he was alive and he was in Argentina, and I'll watch it and I'll enjoy it and it'll be entertaining for 20 minutes. But whether I think he's really still on the earth, I really don't. But like we talked about, he's more in the news now than he ever was when he was alive. Everybody's saying his name at least once a day right now,
Everybody.
I mean, we're mentioning him more than Jesus. Let's just be honest here.
That's right.
Even the Christians are talking about Epstein more than Jesus. I mean,
that's right. That's right.
And that doesn't say much about us as human beings, but it's true. It's true.
Well, it's shocking. It's horrible. It's beyond words. And the new things that are coming out the past week or so are beyond words. Just beyond words.
Do you think there's some remains on the ranch, on Epstein's ranch, and you think so?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
Having said that, to quote someone else, I give someone else credit for this. What he did was bad enough. We don't need to make him, an unaliver. He was a deplorable human on his own without adding that to the list. But do I think I think there might be some stuff on there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, how hard would it be for them to just? This is a real question, you guys, in the comments. If somebody knows what I'm talking about, how hard would it be to just release some bloodhounds, some unalived dogs on the ranch and just say, hey, go look for something? Like, is that hard? I don't know. Is that a hard thing? We see it on the History Channel all the time. Like, it's not.
Yeah.
Huh? That's true. They have to get a warrant. I'm sorry. We have to follow the law. We have to follow the law.
Yeah.
We have to follow the law.
We have to. Yeah.
We have to follow the law.
We have to.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you the question because everybody keeps always asking you guys. Stop asking me about silver. I love you guys. I love you guys. I don't mean that in a bad way.
Okay.
What do you think of silver? What's gonna happen to silver? I haven't checked it since in 24 hours.
No.
Is there nothing in the chart?
I would like to know. Well, let's see. So silver. Okay, silver is a moon. It's a moon thing. Cancer, the zodiacal sign of Cancer, the 8th house of the United States is Cancer, which is ruled by the moon, which is where the eclipse is going to hit. So I would say this is kind of a wussy kind of prediction, but I think there definitely will be some kind of either it goes up or it comes down, straight down, but it won't stay the same. Yeah.
It's going to go up or it's going to go down. You guys, we're going to be 100% right on that prediction. I'm going to call it right now. It's either going to go up or it's gonna go down.
I'm so sorry.
We're not supposed to give we're not supposed to give a financial advice anyway. So here you guys go. But I like the idea
that doesn't mean don't hang on to it.
Yeah, no, it doesn't mean stay the same.
This is a temporary thing.
Yeah. Okay.
This is totally temporary thing.
It's well, I mean, that's an answer. That's not, it's going to stay the same price as it is today. That's an answer.
No, this is a big fluctuation one way or another.
Interesting. Okay. Well, if it's down, I may grab me some silver. If it's up, I may be happy for my friends who already grabbed their silver. So there you go.
Who already sold their silver stock. Yeah. Or have some.
Or haven't sold it. Maybe time to take some profits. Those are the questions that people had. Anything that I didn't think to ask that you think we should know about? What do we need to know about?
Let's see.
Is the ice dancing? This is not a real question. Is the ice dancing controversy with the judging going to get resolved? Don't put in the comments what happened because I haven't finished it yet.
I don't. That one.
No, I was just kidding. I'm just kidding. There's always every Olympics. There's a controversy around.
Oh, sure.
Figure skating.
Oh, dancing. Sure. Oh, well, okay. Well, one thing, and I think I might have mentioned this on your show the last time. Okay. I think I mentioned it on one of my shows, but the Saturn and Neptune in Aries is a huge significator for big changes in Mother Russia. Every time, and historically, when we've had Saturn and Neptune together in Aries, big things happen in Russia. So anybody that's been doing predictions about big changes in Russia, now's the time where that's going to start to happen.
Interesting. So change of administration. I mean, you said changes. It doesn't have to be one thing or another. It can be lots of them. Changes of administration?
It could be, yes, definitely.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Would that, would that be good for Ukraine? I mean, I'm assuming it would be.
It would be good for Ukraine. I think so.
Interesting. Okay.
I think so. Yeah, for
Love
sure.
Love that.
Yeah. I think that's very positive.
Anything else? Anything?
No, we can come on again and talk about the Uranus moving into Gemini at the end of April because that's going to cause. Right.
Oh, right. What else is on that list that you didn't think to tell us?
I know. 47's natal Uranus is also in Gemini. So here's what I was thinking before we started the thing, and I was gathering my thoughts and making my notes for this. Oh, hello, Luca.
Oh, hi, sweetie. Oh, hello.
Where are you going, bud?
She really wants to talk about the Trump.
When you were born with the planet Uranus in a certain sign, and it goes all the way around the zodiac, and it comes back to that. Generally, hopefully, we live for at least 2 Uranus returns. So this is Trump's second Uranus return. Maybe his third. I'm sorry, I should look that up. And generally when people are this age and they have a Uranus return, it often indicates that's the end of life. That's the end of that particular lifetime.
Okay, interesting.
So he's got that going on for him. So what I was thinking is we've got all these aspects that I talked about, the Saturn and Neptune in Aries aspecting his chart, the eclipse aspecting his chart. Now we've got, I'm thinking something could, and the voice that told me he's never going to do another State of the Union address, something happens between now and the next week, or, well, before the 24th, which I think is the next State of the Union. But he may not actually leave the planet at that time. But when we have the Uranus going into Gemini in late April, anytime after that might be when he joins the sky.
I don't know who's saying that, but that is the most awesome way of putting it that I've ever heard. The big McDonald's restaurant in the sky is awesome.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, because I've always seen him like leaving before, not leaving the planet, like not being president when he leaves the planet.
Right. Right.
But
so that's what I was picking up this morning when I was looking at this.
I mean, not that, I don't want anything bad to happen to anybody. But Yeah, but that's the question that people are
We've been
asking.
holding our breath for
Well, for a new administration, and then you and I have talked about this too. Like, is Vance actually going to be better, or is it just that he's not going to be able to do some of the things that
he's not
the
going to be able
most
to
egregious?
I don't think, for entertainment purposes only.
Of course.
47 uses death threats a lot, and I don't think Vance is going to be able to use death threats to keep people in line.
Interesting.
I don't think he's going to be able to use blackmail the way 47 has used blackmail to keep people in line. And of course, his wild unpopularity isn't going to help him at all.
Yeah, interesting.
He has nobody. Nobody likes him.
Yeah, nobody really does. Yeah.
Nobody.
Interesting.
How long do you think he might actually be in office, though?
Vance?
Yes.
That was a hard one to say. I've never really spent a lot of time tuning into that. Let me just gonna see here. I feel he has a very lame duck energy to him when he's present. Like, it's just like he's the space holder. First of all, when I tune into it, I feel like he wants it really bad. But when he gets it, he's like, oh, that's what it means.
Yeah.
Is this the job I was trying to get? It's like wanting to be a doctor and then realizing it means you have to work all the time. Like, and you're never off. Mm-hmm. He has to work all the time. He never has any privacy. I feel like he's not going to think it's as much fun as he thought as it was in the brochure.
Okay.
And that might affect his, like, not phoning in his campaign. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of how I feel. I just see it sort of petering out, and I don't know. It's even possible he might, just quit and just saying, I don't really want to do this.
Okay. I mean, I did his chart on my YouTube channel.
Okay.
Which is, by the way, is Little Blue Lotus Astrology.
We're heading over there next. Check that out.
Okay. Thank you. But I did his chart on my channel late in the summer, I think, maybe early fall. And all I saw were marriage issues. I didn't see, there was no power, no mantle of power being transferred to him, no leadership, no, I'm on the global stage as one of the most powerful leaders of the world. There was nothing like that in his chart. The only thing that I saw in his chart that I could actually put a finger on was marital issues.
Interesting.
Yeah, and very strong possible of divorce. And I saw that some months ago, before the whole Erica Kirk thing. And I was like, when that happened, I'm like, oh, for sure, this dude he's not going to stay married.
Well, isn't his wife pregnant though right now? Isn't his wife?
Yeah, and his wife is pregnant. I'm like, well, I don't know. I'm just saying.
I mean,
marital problems, big time marital problems.
Yeah, I mean, she doesn't strike me as someone who won't be able to support herself. If it doesn't work out.
I'm not worried about her at all.
I'm not worried about her at all.
Child that's coming.
Yeah,
so,
I mean,
yeah, he's going to figure out some way to get to change that.
Interesting. Well, I hope
maybe that's another thing that makes him even less popular than he could possibly be.
It makes him more human, though. And we do tend to like people that are more authentically human. And that's part of the problem with him, is that he doesn't strike anybody as being authentically human.
Exactly.
I mean, like a robot.
Exactly.
Interesting. So any final words?
I want to just say we're all going to be okay, guys.
Yeah.
We really are going to be okay.
100%.
It's a real bumpy ride in 2026. It's been bumpy. The bumps are getting bigger because that really has to shake loose some stuff for us to get to fix. But as we move out of 2026 into 27 and on 2030, all those years that are near and dear to us, we're putting things back together. We're rebuilding better. We're gonna be okay. We are gonna be okay.
Who's gonna win the midterms?
The Democrats are gonna win the midterms.
Both House and Senate?
Both the House and Senate, I believe, not as big a sweep as we would hope, but I think they'll win.
And do you think there's going to be shenanigans around, voting rights, trying to make it so people can't vote?
Oh, they're going to try like hell. Yeah, they're going to try. But I don't think, and that might be why it's not as big a sweep as it should be. But the end result is we win both the House and the Senate.
Interesting. Okay. So Karin, how can people get a hold of you?
Yeah. Oh, how do people get a hold of me?
It's going to be in the comments, you guys. It's going to be in the notes, but just some people like to hear it. Some people like to hear it.
My website is littlebluelotus.org. That's my website for readings. And my channel is Little Blue Lotus Astrology on YouTube. My channel is growing. I'm trying really hard to put more videos out. So I appreciate all you new people. Love you guys to death.
That's awesome.
And I love you to death, Jill. Thanks so much for having me on.
So much fun. You're so much fun. Everybody loves you. I always get the comments. It's like it's going to be iron comment after comment. Oh my God, this is such a great collaboration. I'm like, I know, right? She's amazing.
Yeah. Well,
thank you so much, Karin. Thank you for doing this. And you guys, thank you so much for liking and subscribing. That means a lot to us. And for the kind words, I really appreciate that. If you're seeing this video on Karin's channel, I'm Jill. Nice to meet you. If you're seeing this on my channel, Karin's amazing. So, she's nice. She's happy to meet you too. And we'll see you guys again next time. You guys remember that you are loved. It's going to be okay. We love you so much. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.